Hey Internet, Nia here, coming to you on like the 9th or something like that. But anyway, after much deliberation, I finally just decided to go with the vlog review of X-Men First Class. But before I get into the review, there's a couple shoutouts I'd like to make to non-people entities. The first one is to Del Taco. If you've never tried their food, I'd recommend going and trying it, as it is actually really tasty fast food. They don't like do refried beans or anything. All their ingredients are made natural and fresh. But besides the fact that their food is bomb to eat, right now they're running a special where if you buy a medium drink or one of their matcha combos, you get a free 1-month subscription to Gamefly, which is awesome. That's like a $25 value. So definitely recommend going and checking that out and trying it, especially because you get a 1-month free Gamefly subscription. And I've never used Gamefly before, so I'm going to try it out. The other shout out would be to Best Buy. They finally have gotten into the trade-in business, so maybe next time, instead of heading to other places, go try out Best Buy, see how much you can get back. Now on to X-Men First Class. I really enjoyed the movie, graphically and storyline-wise and everything. I thought it was really cool because the basics of it is it shows you the genesis of a lot of the X-Men characters of the main X-Men people who started the X-Men revolution as we know it. It shows the genesis of Professor X and Magneto and how these two basically staunch allies went from being supporters of each other to bitter enemies. So I thought that was really cool. It also went and showed how Mystique went from being like this good girl kind of chick to a huge villainess. So I thought that was really cool. The other thing that was cool about it was that it showed some X-Men that we really haven't seen of or possibly heard of. It showed Havoc, Beast, brand new iteration of Angel, Darwin. There's somebody I mentioned. Mystique, of course, Magneto, Professor X, Banshee, and he was pretty bummed to watch. It takes place during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and when Sebastian Shaw and Emma Frost, as members of the Hellfire Club, are kind of moving behind the scenes to attempt another World War III. So it actually had a pretty cool storyline, and I like the fact that they gave allusions to the Hellfire Club. If you're not familiar with the Hellfire Club, they're a group of mutants who kind of work behind the scenes for their own political agenda. So, graphic-wise, the storyline was really cool. Graphic-wise, the movie was really good, not the storyline. The movie was really good. It also was very good storyline-wise. I liked seeing the genesis of all these characters and how they eventually came to, their like brotherhood, and the Xavier's gift for school for gifted students. The other thing, but some complaints definitely existed in this movie. My first complaint would be that the X-Men series on a whole seems to take any kind of timeline, chew it up, regurgitate it, chew it up again, regurgitate it, chew it up, and then poop it out. Emma Frost appears as an adult in this movie, but in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, she's a teenager. So kind of strike one against, the whole X-Men movies as a whole. But they aren't really seem to be sure of if this is a true prequel or if it's a reboot. I'm really hoping it's a reboot of the series, because then I can ignore all the flaws in the timeline that have so far existed. If it's a prequel, then I kind of want to give a big to the production studio who decided that they were going to put a character in this movie as an adult who was a teenager later. My other complaint would be Havoc. Havoc is Cyclops' younger brother, and yet in this movie he appears as his teenager while Cyclops is like 8 years old. And so the movie kind of makes no sense in terms of timelines. But I guess you have to get over that. They do, however, show how Magneto was dealing with his time in like the Nazi camp and his mother, and how his mutant power kind of unleashed itself. And they also showed a reference to Cerebro and how Professor Xavier eventually goes and finds like all the mutant children. Um, so that was pretty cool. Graphically, it was also really nifty with the way that it did Mystique's transforming powers and Havoc's, energy beams that come up from his chest, and Banshee's supersonic scream I thought was really cool as well. My complaint in terms of graphically would be Beast. I forgot to mention Beast. Damn it. But Beast is in this movie, and his costume, it's not good to look at. I don't know what I was expecting. I was really looking forward to the fact that Beast showed up in this movie, because I've been waiting for him to show up in all of the movies, and him looking like a blue giant puffball fur buddy cat thing just wasn't cool with me. I kind of wish they would made him look more like a badass Beast guy, because he goes from being like Hank super nerd to Beast kind of awesome dude, and he looked like a cat bunny, and that bothered me. So strike against the movie for that. But Beast was really cool as a character to have in it, because they also had this huge Beast Mystique love story on the side kind of thing going on, which I thought was cool, before she ends up with Magneto, My last complaint about the movie would just be that it dragged somewhat in some bits, where you were watching it and you were like, okay, I get it. I hit the camera. You're like, okay, I get it. Cuban Missile Crisis, Hellfire, Sebastian Shaw, Emma Frost in the background, working their own political agenda kind of thing. Can we get to the action now? So that kind of bothered me. However, the movie did make you emotionally invested in the characters, which I thought was really good. A plus in his point, considering all of the X-Men movies before this have just kind of been standard popcorn fare, where you don't really give a crap about who lives or dies. I'm really, really hoping that this will end up being a reboot. But overall, I'd actually say that this X-Men First Class is a must-see. It has brilliant performances by the actors in it, and it has a really good storyline. If you can ignore some little tweaks that I was talking about in there, I really think you'd enjoy it. Be you a comic lover or just going to try and find a good action movie this summer. My other thing would be, another good comic movie that's out this summer is Thor. Originally, I rated it as 7 out of 10, and I would actually up my number by 1 this time to an 8 out of 10. I just went and saw it again, and I really liked it in comparison to my first watch through. And also, if you do go see it, I would recommend waiting until the end of the movie, because they give a 5-minute clip about what the Avengers is gonna detail. So that's all for right now. Definitely recommend going and seeing the X-Men. It's a definite A in my book. If I had to give it a letter rating, it would be a good A. Solid 9 out of 10. And definitely go see Thor as well. I ragged on it a little bit the first time, but I'm taking back what I originally said, and I would give it an 8 out of 10 this time around. That's all for these 2 reviews today. Definitely go check out both of those movies. They're both in theaters right now, and both great Marvel comic book movie adaptations. I think I've never seen I've never read the Thor comic books, but I actually enjoyed it. And the first time I kind of was like, But that's all for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments below. This is Nia, and I'm out.